YouTubers, got another video review for you today. Well, a few months back, I got this T-Mobile home internet, and I'll be honest, I've really enjoyed it. The download speeds are amazing. But here at my location, I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and there's there's no other option as far as cable internet or DSL or any of that other kind of stuff, except, just satellite internet. And you know as well as I do, HughesNet sucks. And Viasat sucks, and, I have used like the MoFi 4500 and it works pretty good, but I wanted something a little bit faster and didn't want to have to deal with all the different SIM cards and all the different companies. 1 month they might be in business and then the next month they're out of business, and it's just a pain in the butt dealing with the MoFi with all the SIM card companies and all that. So when I found out that T-Mobile offered internet, a home internet in my area, I jumped all over it. So anyways, like I said, I've been very happy with the download speeds, and as far as their upload speeds, it's been kind of slow. So okay, so I said that it's slow. You can see right there that my ping is pretty decent. My download speed is pretty good for my area. Now, you might experience a lot higher than me. You might experience way lower than me. Just depends on what region you're in and how far away you are from the cell towers, and if there's line of sight or any obstructions between you and the towers. For me, I'm like, there's mountains and hills and trees and stuff all the way around me, so I'm in probably the worst possible scenario. And so you can see that I get pretty decent download speeds, 25.5 megabits per second. And then as far as the upload, you can see that it's less than 1. So it's 0.72. And that's just sucky. I'll go ahead and run it again so you can see that I'm not pulling anybody's leg. And as far as the time right now, it's 5:59. Just turned 6 o'clock on 4/20/2021. And I'll go ahead and say that sometimes the upload speed gets a little bit better at nighttime when there's not a lot of people on it. And sometimes, the download speed gets a little better. It just really depends on the time of day. You can see just then it dropped the download speed. And let's see if the upload speed will even measure. Probably not. I know a few weeks ago I tried to upload a video to YouTube. It was like 25 minutes long, and it took me almost 3 days. So I'm like, that is ridiculous. So I wanted to do something to remedy that situation where it don't take so long to upload a video. And you can see finally the upload speed jumped up there a little bit. It's a little bit higher, but it's still nothing to write home about. So anyways, I seen on one of the forums for the home internet, the T-Mobile home internet, on Facebook, there's some groups on there, and I was reading, and somebody said, hey, check out WAVEFORM. And I'm going to take you to their website right now, but I just wanted to show you, look at the speeds. I mean, it's just, it's okay, but the upload speed, again, still sucks. So I'm going to take you to WAVEFORM's website and show you their solution. So on the inside of this T-Mobile home internet router, pretty much is the easiest way to explain what it is. It's a router. It's got like an antenna in there that picks up your cell signals, and then it has antennas in there to distribute the signal throughout your house. So anyways, it's got 4 antennas in there to pick up the cell signal, and basically it's called a Mimo. Multiple input, multiple output antennas. And so the antennas inside this case here are really small. So in order to get a better quality signal, then you want to get some external antennas. And this here is the WAVEFORM website. This is their Mimo panel antenna kit for 4G hotspots and routers. So if you have a hotspot, let's say you've got a MoFi 4500 or something like that, or maybe even one of the Netgear jetpacks, they should have something that could give you an external type of antenna to boost your signal. But for me, I'm going to use the T-Mobile home internet. I'm going to pull the case off of it, do a little surgery, It's not very hard. I've seen the videos on it, people doing it. It's very easy, and I'm going to walk you through it right now. But what they provide you in this kit is a panel antenna that you can mount on the side of your house or just wherever, and they give you some low loss cable, and then the connectors right here. So if you'll stay tuned, I'm going to show you how to do it up close so you can see what kind of results I'm going to get, and we're going to see if this thing really works. And I'm trying to boost those upload speeds and even my download speeds. Everybody talked about how this kit here would double and even triple your speed. So we're going to see today. All right. Like I said before, you get two 30-foot sections, and this is the RS400 cables, and that's low loss cable. You get two of those, and then you get two of these barrel connectors. It says RSRF end male to end male barrel adapter, and there's two of those. Then you get two of these connectors here. This is the RSRF SMA male to end female pigtail adapter. You get two of those. And then you get two of these adapters. It's RSRF TS9 male to end female pigtail. And again, you get two of those. And then you get the hardware to mount your panel antenna to the J mount, and it does come with a bracket. There it is. And then there's a bracket that mounts to the back of the panel antenna. And to give you an idea of what it looks like, this is the panel antenna, and then you can see it's got two wires coming out of the bottom. Here's the back. You can see right there that it looks like it's made pretty good. And it's got some sort of rubberized or silicone around the edges to keep water and stuff out, so it's sealed up. It also comes with the dreaded instruction manual, and it says right here that we know reading manuals isn't always fun, but we promise it's worth it. Thought that was pretty funny. But I got to looking in the manual, and it looks pretty nice. It's none of that black and white stuff, and it's not hard to read. It's in big print, and it seems really easy. And then it tells right here that they have the Mimo panel antenna like what I was showing you, but then they also have the two of the log periodic antennas that they also offer, and that's for something that's pretty much the same thing, but that's more directional, and it's a little bit harder to get it pinpointed in. And this is for something where it's more line of sight, where you can actually see the tower, and there's not a lot of obstructions like what I have. So that's why I chose to do the panel antenna. I figured it'd be easier to get it set up. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right, now I told you that the kit come with everything. Well, almost everything. By the time you watch this video, they might include it, or they might sell it, because this is kind of a universal kit for other routers and things as well. So you might have to purchase some little adapters, and what I mean by that is you might have to get some really cheap adapters from Amazon, and they look like this. I've already bought some, and what this is right here. It tells, note, to install external antennas to your T-Mobile high-speed 5G internet gateway, you will need to install two U.FL male to end female pigtail adapters. We don't sell these just yet, but you can pick them up quite cheaply on Amazon. Read on for how to install the pigtails. And like I said, I was able to pick these up on Amazon for like less than $10 or something. I got 4 of them. I only needed 2, but anyways, that's I'll try to find the link for those little adapters. Like I said, they're very cheap, but if I can find the link to it, I'll put it in the description. And they've put together this set of instructions showing you how to install everything, and it is going to require some disassembly of this gateway. And so anyways, just stay tuned for that. Now inside the gateway, there is room for 4 antennas. And if you see right here on this antenna, and the one that I showed you that I have over there, it has 2 wires that come out of it. So that's that'll fill up 2 of the antenna spots. There is room for a whole nother one of these kits. So if you want the best internet possible, then, you know, I would say, hey, get 2 of these kits, and that way you'll have 4 antennas basically. And you know, I'm not sure how you would mount those up. It should be pretty much the same way, but you know, like I said, if you're looking for the best internet, that would be the best possible speed you could get by getting 4 having 4 antennas hooked up. Me personally, I'm just going to do the one. Now what you want to do first is go ahead and unplug the gateway from the power cord right there, and then there's the on and off switch. You want to power it off, and it means it's off when the button is sticking out. When you push it in and it locks, then that means that it's got power. So make sure that it's turned off, and then if you mash up here just to double check, there's no light that comes on. But when I turn it on and you mash up here, after it boots up, then the light will come on. You can see right there that it lights up. So make sure that it's pulled out. And then first things first, you want to look here on the very bottom, and you want to locate right here where the SIM card is, here on the bottom of the case. And that's a little small Phillips head. And I keep a lot of these little screwdrivers in my toolbox because they do come in handy. And make sure you find one that fits the head of that screw nice and tight where there's no play in it, because you don't want to strip these out. And remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Now, I will tell you that once you do this, that it will probably void the warranty on your gateway. So, you know, just do this at your own risk. Because if you have to send this back and they see that you've tampered with it, they might say that you owe them for the price of the gateway. And this thing's probably, I don't know, $300-400. So just keep that in mind. The next step is you want to take Torx. It's called a T10. If you don't have one of these, most every Home Depot, Lowe's, parts store, you know, they sell these. And you just take it and hook it into your screwdriver. And then you've got a T10 right here. And then there's another one right there where my thumb was. And you just, like I said, you want to make sure that that T10 bit fits in there. If it's loose, then you have the wrong one. You want to make sure that it fits in there nice and tight. And again, this is righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So just take your time. Don't get in a hurry. There's no need. And then once that comes out, then you just want to put it over to the side. And I kind of keep my my screws and nuts and bolts kind of together, so I know what order I've taken them out. And then right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take this other one out. And I'll tell you, I'm taking a risk at this. I've never done this before. I'm pretty handy with tools, and so I thought, well, I'll take my chance on this. This can't be too hard. Next, you want to go ahead and remove this little piece right here where you took the Phillips head screw out of. That's your SIM card holder. You just want to take your fingernail and just pull that up so you can grab a hold of it. And there is your SIM card. And you can see right there, that's the way it fits in there. I didn't mean to knock it out, but anyways, that's how it fits onto that little tray, just like that. So I'm going to set it aside. Now you can see right here, after you get the screws out of there, then you just pull up on this and it makes a popping noise. And the reason mine made a popping noise is these little tabs come loose from those little notches on the inside of that housing, and you can see. And I pulled a little bit too hard on one side and it cracked one of the tabs, but it's no big deal because you got all the rest of them to hold them in. All the rest of them come out. I guess I just pulled a little too hard, but you know, I know this looks a little confusing, but it's very simple. You can see exactly which way this piece is going to go back on here because you've got a bolt a hole there, one there, and then there's your SIM card slot. So automatically you know which way to orient this piece to put it back on. So it's not going to be an issue, and it just pushes right back in there. So anyways, stay tuned. Okay, once you get that cover off, then you're sitting here looking at the battery, and you can see there's a connector right there, and then there's like a clip here holding that battery in, and it's, you know, it's kind of like a spring loaded, and it's got some tension on it. So I just take a little flathead screwdriver bit, and I pull that little piece back, and I just wedge that battery out of there, trying not to poke a hole in the battery because you don't want to damage it. But once you get it pulled out, then you'll want to unplug right in there. Now a tip for you is, once you get it released right here where my finger is, then there you want to look right here, and there's a little lip right there. I'm going to take and just pull up with my finger and the screwdriver at the same time, and I'm just going to lift the battery right on out of there. And you can see it comes right out, no problem. Now the little plug that I said that you want to unplug, it just pulls straight out. Don't pull it at an angle or anything, just pull it straight out. And you've got to, I try to pinch it down there as close as I can to the plug and not put as much stress on those wires, but you'll have to pull, you know, kind of hard to get it out. But it just pulls straight out, and then that's what you're left with, is those little connectors in there. All right, next you have 4 T10 screws that secure this inner section to the outer part of the gray case. And what you want to do is take these 4 out. There's one there, one there, one there, and one there. And then, like I said, make sure you are using the correct T10 bit, and remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. I'm going to loosen these, so I'm going to turn them to my left, and it doesn't take much to turn them. They're fairly loose. And then when you go to tighten them up, just remember that. Don't over tighten them, because you are screwing into plastic. And we all know that metal versus plastic is going to lose. And you're going to strip it out. And I'm trying to hold it so it don't fall down into the case. If you can, use a screwdriver that's magnetized so it holds them so they don't fall down. Now, once you take those 4 bolts out of there, what you want to do is come over here to this side, and you want to pull this little plug that fits right over that connection right there. That's for the telephone, and it just pulls in and out. It's very simple. So you just pull that off, set that in there, and then watch this on and off button whenever you're taking the case, the inside part out of the outer case. Make sure that doesn't hit, and just do it very gently. You're not, like I said, you're in no hurry. And then you just set the inner part of the case out somewhere, and then, you know, just set the outer part of the case aside, and you'll just be left with the shell, just like that. All right, now I went ahead and separated this piece, but for the time being, just so you can get an idea, I'm just going to set it right back here on top and get it lined up so you can see the way that it would go back on there and what the objective is that you're trying to do. You can see that everything's lined up the way that it come off. And then right here, you can see there's a little bitty access to the electrical board right there. And then inside that board is the place for the little wires that I ordered from Amazon to plug in. And I don't know if you can see that right in there, but this just plugs in to that little electrical board. And then this just sticks out the side of the gateway. So it says to take these wires right here and route them right down into this little vent. And I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's some little slots right here on the bottom. It looks like to me the best one to go into is the very middle one for this wire. And then I'm just going to push it down in there. And you can see right here, it comes out. So you want to pull it out like that. Now I've already goofed up because I didn't I didn't run it through this bottom of the stand first. So you want to run it through the stand right there like that first, with the fat end or the fat connector coming out. And then you want to put this little skinny connector down through there. And if it helps to pull this back off, then that's fine. You can do that just whichever way it's easiest for you. And then I'm going to take and run my second one in just the same way. Now what I'm going to do next is probably not going to be able to where you guys can see it. So you can see that there's 5 little connectors right in there with 5 wires attached, and they all have some white heat shrink on them, on 4 of them. And then that one wire in the middle has purple heat shrink on it. Now the one wire in the middle you don't want to mess with, because that's your GPS. The 2 wires on each side of the purple one are your Mimo antenna wires. So what you want to do is just disconnect 2 of those. Now if you're running 2 of these panel antennas, then you would want to disconnect all 4 of the white ones, and then you would plug in the adapters like I showed you. Now to disconnect those little bitty connectors there, you want to use a little pry tool, maybe like the tip of a credit card, a cut off credit card, or just a piece of plastic, or even a pair of tweezers, just whatever you can get in there and remove that clip. Now it just pulls straight up, and the way that's held in place is these little clips right there hold the wires down on in place, but the little actual gold looking connectors in there are just pushed on. So just be very, very careful with these, because you do not want to break these right here, because if you break them, you're probably going to end up having to buy a new router or gateway. Now I don't know how good you guys can see, but I went ahead and pulled the 2 wires that I installed in there. I just pulled them back out so you guys could see a little bit better. But I just took these little tweezers and I popped them up out of the wires out of those metal connectors right there. That's holding just the wire. And then I pulled the little gold connector off of the contact in there. And they come off fairly easy. But again, you want to make sure that you don't pull too hard on these, because you don't want to nick the plastic on the wire. You don't want to cause a short or something. And then what's left, as you can see right on the inside, there's 2 little gold connectors left. This is going to be the hardest part, is getting those connectors snapped down in place and pushed down on there so they fit. And so just be very, very careful with this part here and take your time. And if you're using a pair of tweezers, just be very careful, like I said, that you don't damage the wire in any way. You might even be able to take a pencil eraser and mash down to press on top of those connectors to get them to seat in there. And you can see just how tiny these are, if the camera will ever focus. Nah, probably not going to focus, but I'll show you on this right here just how small the connector is. Let's see. You can see right there, the connector is just so tiny. I mean, I can't even get the camera to focus in on it because it's just so freaking small. Now, these 2 wires right here that were the antennas, they hooked in to these little connectors right in here. But while you're trying to hook up the new wires, they kind of get in your damn way. So if it was me, I would disconnect them from right in that little clip holding the wires together, and you can pull them up, and that's 2 less wires that's getting in your way of being able to hook up your wires that you've poked through there and you're trying to get them routed. So that might be a tip for you to help you. All right, now I got those little pieces connected in there, those little connectors pushed in for the antennas. And I'll go ahead and tell you, if you're not very steady, then you better let somebody else do it, because you've got to be very steady and accurate to get those little cables plugged in because the connector on the end of them is just so tiny. You can see right there. It's not like a typical connector like on a car. I mean, it's a lot smaller, and you really got to be able to use a lot of precision to hold them. And these new wires are a little bit thicker than the ones that come in there, and they're stiff, and so they're just not as flexible to be able to work with. So I went ahead and connected the wires, and then I took me a piece of electrical tape and just put over top of them to kind of hold them in place so they don't pop out. And you can see that I brought mine in through this little port right here. You can see right in there where the rest of the wires are kind of coming up through this little port area where it's kind of notched out. And I figured that would be the best way to have them come through there. And then they're coming out the very top. And I'm going to take and put a piece of tape up here as well so they don't move and accidentally get disconnected. Oh, that would suck, having to do this again. So, all right, just to give you an idea, those wires are going up around that little area that's opened up, then coming out the top. And then I took a little zip tie and zip tied both those wires, that little cross brace right there, and then pushed the zip tie part of it, the head of it down on further in there. And that way the lid, when it gets snapped back in place, it don't hinder it in any way, because I definitely don't want them to come out. Like I said, it was a pain to try to get those connected. It took me probably a good, I don't know, 30-45 minutes to get them snapped in there. So, you know, I've got big fingers, and you can see where it's kind of tore my fingers up. You know, if you've got little fingers, it's probably not going to be an issue for you, but for me, it was a little challenging. Okay, next, you want to go ahead and reinstall your battery. And you can see where I've got that zip tied right there. And then you're going to put your piece right back on top and put your 4 bolts in. And you're getting closer to being done. Now when you're done, it'll look something like this. You'll have the 2 wires coming up through the vent hole. And then I took some electrical tape and just laid the wires as flat as I could so there's no twisting or nothing when you go to screw the connectors on down here. And then I took a little zip tie and I connected it right there. Not crazy tight or anything, but you can see that I just connected and pulled the wires close, so there's going to be no movement and jiggle right here, and those have a chance to come unplugged. It's just safety precaution. And then right here where I disconnected the 2 antennas that come with the gateway, I just disconnected them and I curled them up and I stuck them up behind this electrical tape in this little recessed area right in here. And now it's time to flip this over. Now you can see what it looks like, because you've got the pigtail coming out the little vent holes there in the bottom, and then all I got to do now is just reattach the T-Mobile cover. Now, whoops, I got a little bit ahead of myself. I have to take this piece back off so I can slide this piece on, and you have to have this piece off so you can get to those 4 bolts. I forgot. That's my fault. So you definitely want to put the gray piece on before you put the bottom base plate on. And you know, there's 4 screws that goes on, connects the gray to the internals. And then you've got 2 screws that connects this bottom vent piece into the internal, and then the SIM card screw. So there's 3 on the bottom and 4 attachments on the gray. So just remember that. Put this on first before you put this on. All right. All right. Well, as you can see, get it all put back together. I'll be honest, it wasn't really hard at all. And most of the fasteners were all the same size. Well, all but one. Just the SIM card fastener is a Phillips head. The rest of them are all the Torx head, and they were all the same size. All the Torx head ones were. Now the SIM card screw was an odd size, so you don't have to worry about separating the hardware like I did. I didn't know. Like I said, this is my first time doing it, and so I went ahead and separated everything out. And so you can see I've got the wires coming out the back here, and like I said, I've got a zip tie holding them right there to the leg, and then I've got some electrical tape just holding the wires so they don't move and come loose from the inside, because I don't want to have to do this again, you know. And so anyways, give it a good 30 minutes to take this apart. 30, 45 minutes, depending on how much time, it takes you to put those connectors on the inside. That's the hardest part. And, like I said, if you got little fingers, you'll have a lot less of a hassle than I did. I've got big old man hands, and so it was harder for me. But, I kept on it until I got it done and everything put back in place, nothing scratched up, and it looks just like just like it was before I even opened it up. And so I'm ready to go ahead and move on to step number 2 and start getting the antennas hooked up. Now tonight I'm probably not going to go ahead and hook the antennas up. All right, well, as I said a few minutes ago, that it turned dark on me, so I'm not going to be able to go outside and put the antenna, the Mimo antenna, up on a mast or on a J-pole that they supplied me with. So I thought, well, I just can't wait till tomorrow. I just really want to see how fast this thing is. And so I thought, well, you know what? Why don't we just hook it right to the panel antenna? And I've got enough adapters to do it with. And so those are the ones that come out of the inside of the network, of the gateway, I'm sorry. And then these are the ones that WAVEFORM supplied. And then they give me some barrel connectors. And so I was able just to connect it directly to the panel antenna. And I just stuck it here on this first level window. Now I do have it pointed towards the tower. So let's go in over to the computer and let's just check the results. All right, well, you can see what the results were. I just ran it, but I'm going to run it again just for you guys so you can see what an improvement that it made. Now, I know it's 11:45 at night. It's almost midnight. There's not going to be a whole lot of people on it. But, I'm going to keep it on here and test it out for a few more days because I've never seen these kind of speeds with this gateway before. So I gotta say, so far I am really impressed with it because I've never seen an upload speed like that. And for some of you guys that's nothing, but for me here at my house, that's pretty dang amazing when you're at less than 1 normally, and now you're at 5.18. Now I'm gonna test it tonight, and then I'm going to test it for the next few weeks and just see how it does with it in the window. And I might run up and put it up in the attic and see how that turns out. But as for right now, I'm going to keep it in the window, do some testing. And, if it still continues to do good in the window, that I might just leave it down here. And then again, if I want it a little bit faster, I might go ahead and run those cables up through the attic. And I already have some low loss cables run up through the attic currently, and I just don't have the adapter to hook them up right now, or I'd go ahead and run up in the attic and show you guys. But if you want to see, what the test is going to be like with it mounted up in the attic, like and subscribe. That way you'll get to see my future videos. Smash that notification bell. And I should be coming out with it soon. So anyways, I gotta say, WAVEFORM, I'm very impressed with the Mimo antenna. To go from, less than 1 on the upload speed to, over 5, that's amazing. Plus my download speed and ping have both improved. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, please like and subscribe. Smash that notification bell so you get to see my future videos. And stay tuned for that next video coming out when I move this thing up into the attic. But like I said, it's going to be a while. So don't get in too big of a hurry. All right? Peace out.